Masters of Endurance GT1 qualifying session 2. Just waiting for the green light, and they went green now. The GT1s came out the pits. Very nice skins on these cars, some new ones, looking very good this weekend. First of all, Diaz with Core Racing just making a small mistake under the bridge, pushing it very hard indeed. Here's Low Racing through the tyres, or just slightly clipping them with the rear of their car through the chicane. Not too much harm done there. That was Schuyler. Now here is Diaz again, just making a small mistake at turn 4, getting on the inside curb slightly, and then falling off the outside. A common error, that is. There's Speedo Racing's Matthew Beattie, just driving through the barrier. Continues on his way, but not really much point in finishing that lap. Next up, it was Sharda for SK Gaming, the previous race winners, and off he went at the outside of the hairpin. Easy mistake to make because you have to run out wide at this hairpin, but not that wide. Off he went. Next up, Gassner in the Speedo Racing car through the tyres at the chicane. As I say, common mistake. Lots of damage, and lots of worn out tyres as well. Now here's Core Racing again, Diaz having fun at the chicane, just like everybody else. Boom, into the barrier. Here we go again, just through the barriers, and into the barriers. Boom. Next up, 3ID Gaming's Hugo Lewis doing an excellent piece of drifting. Look how spectacular that is. A nice skinned car and a nice looking drift. Now here's Diaz once again at the final corner, just falling off the road, running wide on the exit, as everybody does, but just too wide. And off he went. Boom. Finally, it was First Racing. First Racing Nieminen, with 4 minutes to go, needed to set a good time and made a mistake at turn 2, and then with 0 minutes to go, the count had finished, he made a mistake here at turn 4, and that was the end of their session. No more good laps could be put in. Now the results of this session don't count towards the grid unless they were quicker than the times in qualifying 1. First was My3ID, second was First Racing, third was Mercury Racing, fourth was Low Racing, fifth was Speedo Racing, sixth was Team Inferno. 7th was the Serbian Racing Team, 8th was Core Racing, 9th was N1 Racing, 10th Speedcore, 11th was SK Gaming, and 12th was X-Fusion Racing. And finally, in 13th place, it was the Danish Racing Team in the only FXR of the field. The starter qualifying 2 for the GT2 cars, and to be honest, they made a bit of a mess of it. The lights turned green, the camera pans over, but you will be seeing a car going backwards. Let's see. Now, Sonic Realms going backwards off into the pits, just on the right of your picture. Now let's see it again. Looks like the Sonic Realms car of Mekka gave the Speedo Racing and First Racing cars a bit of a squeeze. Here it's on board with the First Racing car. And yes, very much a big squeeze was given. That was on board with Arens. Now here's on board with Mekala. Clearly 2 cars on the right of him, but he still carried on driving into them anyway. Lag related, I think, but also a lack of foresight. Now, here is the Provive car of Copa, just making a small mistake at turn 2. These cars are harder to crash because they're slower, especially on a circuit like Westhill. First Racing set the fastest time of the session. Here is Arens completing that lap. An excellent lap it was as well. Makalowski just making a mistake at the chicane, and also Serbian racers. Their time was taken away from all the sessions because they didn't have a representative in the IRC channel at South City. Here is the Speedo Racing car. They improved their time just at the last minute. Now, the end results were First Racing, Serbian racers, Speedo Racing, 4th Mercury, 5th Infinity Skills, 6th was Mekala for Sonic Realms. 7th was Core Racing, 8th ProDrive, 9th was Conquest, 10th AMT, 11th X-Fusion, and 12th Greek Virtual Racing Team in the FXR, the only FXR in the GT2 field.